the whole thing.
Sure. I'm not a professional, so we're giving rolling ability here.
No, you're doing really well.
So we have half an hour. I think we pay 500 yen for this. It's definitely harder than a swan boat, but I thought it would get a better view this way.
You want me to show them the view?
Huh?
Do you want me to show them the view?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely a better view.
Before we start, I just want to highlight the importance of being open-minded. You know, like a lot of these might seem a little obvious to you. It was, you know, like when you lay it out, it seems obvious, but in reality, you don't really think about it as much going into it. Well, at least that was for me. If you already do, that's great. So how I break down the budget for us is that I break down into discretionary and non-discretionary. So basically, one's a need. And you might be like, oh wow, that's so obvious. And then they're just laughing at me here. It is kind of like, you know, when you say it out loud, it seems obvious. But the important part is the ratio between your wants and need. So let's say that you have income coming in 4,000, and then, you know, your wants and need is, the ratio is like, let's say 50-50. So your wants is 2,000, your need is 2,000. What does it mean is that you have $2,000 budget to be flexible with. So at Bareboy, you can live on 2,000, but you can go up to 4,000. So that's the ratio. So what allows us to be a little more flexible is that we try to keep this ratio in a reasonable range. So for us right now, it's about 50-50, 60-40. So basically half of what income that we come in, half of them is discretionary and half of them is non-discretionary. So let's say bad time comes, we can be very flexible. So we can cut down this expense by 50% if we need to. And then when good time, you know, we can spend 50-50 like we mentioned earlier. This is one of the things that allow us to be a little bit more flexible in terms of income. And of course, this also allows you to be a little bit more, you know, safer in your retirement kind of thing. So let's say, like, you know, on the other hand, let's say you bring in 4,000, and let's say that all 4,000s are your needs, you know, your rent, your food, all the things that you can cut down. So when bad time comes, you can't cut anything. So your expense is still 4,000. You can't really be flexible with your budget. So this could get you a hard time if something happens. And, you know, like when I highlight wants and need, I'm not just saying, like, you know, shelter, food. Because what if let's say partying is it might seem like it's a want for me, but for you it could be a need because you need to go on social, you know. Like what if your Starbucks coffee is your need, you know, like. What I'm saying is that your wants and needs is going to be different from person to person, and then it's important to highlight what is important to you and what is your want and what you need when you plan for, you know, if you're ready for, you know, to step out of your retirement or your financial independence. These are the things that you have to keep in mind. Seeing to row the boat, it seems so easy, but it's actually harder than it looks. You kind of adjust your positions and how to row properly and how to make sure that it goes straight and stuff. It's actually a lot more work than it looks.
I feel like you're catching on pretty fast.
Yeah, but you keep getting caught on my jacket pocket. It's just so annoying. So now the question that everyone's probably wondering is how much income are we working with? So how I break down our portfolio is that I make sure that part of it is being reinvested for longevity, and also another part is used for basically income. So right now, our cash flow that we use for living is about 3,500 Canadian dollar, which is going to be like 2,500 USD, something like that. So of this 3,500, I think about 50 to 60% of it is basically our need. So, you know, the bad time come, we can cut down the usage of this 3,500 down to about 60% or 50% of it. So 1,750 to 2,000, basically, roughly. So a lot of these kind of break down into, you know, dividends, cash interest, and some of them are from like fixed income. Let's go. I know we did invest quite a bit into preferred shares during the height of the rates. So those are paying out pretty well. I'll do like a more portfolio breakdown later on, but that's basically kind of how we're structure our income. So 3,500, that's our magic number. We can stretch it out a little bit more, but if we're gonna take away from the reinvesting part, but that's basically the number that everyone probably wondering. All right, got off the boat.
Relax.
My hand is freezing. So we're in Oak Park right now. So let's want to go back to Asakusa and then look for something to eat. Okay, so we're probably gonna walk. Funny enough, we came to this 7-day trip. We only used the transit twice. Once from the airport to the hotel, and one time to Shibuya. The rest we just walk.
We just love walking.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's good, you get to see a different perspective. You get to see the building, and also you get to exercise because definitely don't want to gain too much weight. Okay, anyways, let's walk to Asakusa and then we'll talk some more. One of the issues of traveling without a plan, it's we don't know what to eat. So, and then everything in Japan is I would say not as English friendly as Thailand. I can read a little bit, but I can't read kanji, so a lot of time we probably missed a lot of good restaurant or interesting food. So now we're on the way back to Asakusa. I think we're about halfway, kind of walking through the city.
12 seconds later.
So we were walking by and we were looking at the menu. They kind of wave us in. It's kind of like a yakitori place. Never been before. An experience for sure. Looks great.
Oh, it looks so delicious.
You want some spice?
Oh,
Okay.
that's the chef intended.
Here, fried garlic.
So basically, no kissing.
You'll see a different bed tonight. Sorry.
There's only one bed though.
These are so good. The intestine is my favorite so far. I'm not sure what any of these are. I know one is belly, but intestine is so good. This one.
I'm cracking open the croquette.
This is a crab cream croquette.
Ooh, wow.
I can already tell it's gonna be good.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
All right, we're back home at the hotel. Back to the hotel. It's a nice little hotel. We're staying at an APA in Asakusa. It's fairly cheap and fairly small. We're actually living tomorrow. APA hotel is like a 7-Eleven hotel basically. They're everywhere, a little bit cheap. The rooms are very small. But you know what? In the end, we're just staying here just to sleep anyway. So it didn't really need anything too much. But thankfully, we have a desk here. So.
Hi.
So anyways, so before we got to the last topic, I just want to talk a little bit about the FIRE movement, FIRE. So financial independence, retire early. I know some of you probably heard of this movement before. Basically, the whole concept is about working hard, saving, cutting back, and then you can retire a little bit early with 4%, withdrawing 4% of your investment that is invested in S&P 500. And the whole idea is basically based off of an Infinity study that within 30 years, if you actually withdraw 4% every year, add inflation on top, you don't your money will last 30 plus years. So why am I talking about this? So basically, I become aware of this movement, I think back in 2014. It was like a very groundbreaking at a time, gaining traction. The whole thing is about breaking the mold, basically, doing something outside the box, and then achieving different result than what the society telling you to do. So why am I talking about this? It's because the way I'm doing the retirement is a little bit different than what FIRE would do, right? So basically, I'm investing in like very selective fixed income, high yield dividends income. Could be through cover call, could be through traditional dividends, and it's like a mix of like overly complicated things. So if you look at it from the traditional FIRE perspective, these things is a no-no. Unfortunately, FIRE has become something, back then it was all breaking the mold, but now in a way they're becoming the mold themselves. So anything if you divert off the path, you, instead of being like, let's talk about it, you kind of being condemned. So yeah, just a little bit off topic there. So basically, in the movement, the main concern is always, what if you fail? What if you run out of money early? I just want to point out that if you're gonna run out of money, you would know, if it's not working out, you would know way ahead of time. You know, you're not gonna find out next week that, oh, I'm running out of money. If you finding out in a week, a year, even a 2 years, or even something like that, you're probably doing it wrong. You know, you just maybe not doing enough homework, maybe you're not, you know, setting up properly or managing your risk properly. Because if you know that it's not working out, you can always supplement it with something else. You can always try to change course. You can always change something, so you would know way ahead of time if it's not working out for you. So the way I am doing it, of course, is a little bit riskier than normal. And the little just smiling at me. But you know, life doesn't wait for you. You can spend years and years working. You can run tons of simulation. You can do so many Excel spreadsheet. You can project your risk for so many times. But in the end, you just have to take your chances. And what's the worst that could happen? You can just go back and get another job. You know, if you decide it's not working out for you, just get another job. But you only have one life, so yeah, I just want to leave with that. I know that it doesn't cover, might not cover all your questions. So what you're concerned, or what you're curious about. So if you have anything else, just leave it in the comment. I'll get back to you in a future video, perhaps. So yeah, it's getting late. We're just gonna finish packing, and we're gonna fly back to Bangkok tomorrow. So maybe I'll see you next time in Bangkok. All right, see you later. Thank you for spending time with us today. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.